Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Angela Palmer from Stamp with Angela and I'm excited to be here with you today for today's Facebook and YouTube Live. So thank you for joining me. Appreciate you being here. So this is my first but kind of second live for 2026. Last week I had a special live which was held on a Thursday evening, and that was for the new mini catalogue and online exclusives and sharing all the new products and things with you. This is my usual Thursday afternoon live, and I appreciate you joining me. So thank you for being here. Please let me know if you're joining me or where your name or where you're joining me from. I'd love to know who is here today. So each Thursday at 1:30 p.m. New Zealand time, I come to you with this live. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the product of the month. Now, if you're not sure what the product of the month is, it is something new that Stampin' Up started in December. Now, there's a lot happening in December, so you may or may not have seen or heard about it. And we're now in the second month, and this is January. So each month there'll be a different product that Stampin' Up is promoting. It won't be in a catalogue or an online exclusives. It's just the product of the month. And this month is an exciting stamp set, Fabulous Sayings. It's a sentiment stamp set. So to get that stamp set, if you're putting an order in of $150 New Zealand or more, then you can choose to purchase the stamp set for $11. So that is an amazing price. So I'm going to show you the stamp set and I'm going to make a card with it. I'm also going to share some tips today, particularly when you're getting your stamp set, how you can store it so it makes it easy for you to know if all your stamps are there and to keep it safe, because I keep losing the little plastic sheets on it. So a couple of ideas to help you store your stamps and use them, which I hope you will find useful. All right, so let's see who is here today. Please leave a comment. Hopefully you can hear okay and everything. Now, I go live on a Thursday. Just so you know, this particular one is actually pre-recorded. It's school holidays, so I couldn't do it live on the Thursday. So it's pre-recorded, but going live hopefully at this time. And next week, I'll be back to actually being there live. But it's great with technology that I can kind of do this ahead, but stick to my usual schedule. All right, so if you're commenting, I may not respond or reply kind of straight away, but I will read the comments and things and answer questions if I don't answer them during the live with what I'm sharing anyway. All right, so thank you for joining me. So let me share with you this Fabulous Sayings stamp set. So let's take a look and then we'll do today's card. And I'll also share with you a few promotions that are going on at the moment too, so you don't miss out. All right, here we go. So this is the Fabulous Sayings stamp set. All right, can you see that? So as you can see, there are a variety of sentiments. You've got your usual happy birthday, thank you, hello, that kind of thing. But you've got a few other ones like you're on my mind, sending love. We've got some that are larger like this, and then some smaller ones like to a fabulous friend, just because, hooray, and other ones. So this is a great, very versatile stamp set. So if you'd like to get your hands on it, when you order, you can add this to your order if it's $150 or more. So that's very cool. So I don't know if you've noticed, but these are in the new cases. So they're very thin, great for storage. So if I take the stamp set out, you will see that it is here. It's photopolymer and it's got a protective layer on the top. This is quite flimsy and light, and this one is thicker. So when you're taking off, you can see I have used one or two. Taking them off, if you've got quite a few off, you go to put them back on and you don't know where they go or how to make them fit or if anything's missing. So this is a little tip that I have. I'll show you what it is and then I'll show you how I did it. So let me get another stamp set that I have and I'll show you what I've done. So I'm also using today the Nature Symphony. So this was one of the stamp sets that I used during my live last week. Now, if you didn't get to be part of that live either at the time or the recording, it's available. You can take a look. So rather than just being see-through like this, what I have done is this. Okay, So now you can see all this stamp set is missing and this one is missing, and that's because I'm going to use it today and they're on the blocks ready to go. Okay, then if I want to put it away, I can take it off my block. My thin layer is actually at the bottom now and my thick layer is there, so I'm actually going to turn it upside down, put it down, and then it sticks back into place. The same with this one here. So in the old packaging, they kind of printed it on the acetate, but they haven't done this time. They are looking into it, so it might change. But for now, if it comes like this, this is what you can do. So let me show you. I'm going to put these stamps back because I do want to use them shortly to make today's card. I'll show you how I did this. All right, so when you take your stamp set out of the package, it's going to be like this with your thick layer at the bottom and your flimsy layer. And I've already lost this once and I had to go looking for it. So I'll show you a way that you can not lose it so easily. What I did was I got a piece of white cardstock and I made it, cut it the same size as this piece here, okay? Now with photopolymer, sometimes there can be a bit of, I don't know, we got residue or whatever on it. So I like to give it a little bit of a clean first. So I haven't even, so you can open it up. Don't take any stamps off. I'm using my stamping mist and my stamping scrub, and I'm just going to clean it. Just give it a wipe. Okay. This is before you take any stamps off and then give it a dry. Okay. So that'll help it stamp a little bit better as well. Then what I'm going to do is get some black ink, and I will use my stamping piercing mat. So I'm not actually going to put anything on a block because I want to keep them in position. I am going to ink up the whole thing. You can use any color you like. Ink up the whole thing. Now it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for placement. And then carefully lift it up. There is something there, so I don't want that. I think that's part of a dimensional. Put that down. Flip this over. Line it up as best as I can. And push it on. Okay. And hopefully, look at that. Doesn't have to be perfect, but that is pretty good. Now, if my stamps go to this, so which way around was it that way? It's not quite so good for them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere this piece back onto here. So when I put my stamps on, it's a nice easy surface for the stamps to come off. Now you could use glue or you could use some tear-in tape. Doesn't really matter too much if you kind of see it, because as long as we can see the words underneath, that's the important thing. Now if this doesn't work, just slide it on. There we go. Now the challenge is lining up nice and straight as best you can. Okay? And then we can put that like that. And then when I take a stamp off and put it on my block to use, if I come back here, I can see, oh, my thank you is missing. And let's say I want my happy birthday. So I'm going to pull my happy birthday off. Put it on a stamp set, put it on a block rather. Now, with my block, if I put it on a block, I might end up making it a little bit wonky, which maybe you want. So for these, particularly photopolymer, I like to put it down. And if you've got a line, you can sort of put it against even better. So let's kind of use that. And then put your block on top. And now it's a lot straighter. Okay. So then we'll put these back on again like so. So when I go to put this stamp away, what I can do is, you might be able to just lift it up and tuck that one in, or you can take it all off. And I line up it face down like that. And then I can just put this on top like so. So this time I'm going to use my hello instead of a thank you. So whoops, wrong way around. So put it face down so it matches the words, and there it is. So let's get a hello this time. And we'll put that on my block, ready to go in a little bit. And then all you need to do is put them back in here, back in your sleeve, and ready to go. And then I can pull them out and think, uh-oh, one of my stamps is missing. Here it is. Okay. Isn't that a great way to see where the stamps go so they all fit on nicely and to know what's missing? Right, I'm going to put that away there so it's out the way. All right, there we go. Okay. So today's card. So I'm going to use the Nature Symphony. So like I said, this is the stamp set. And I'm going to use one of the dies. Now I use these in the launch too. This is my favorite. This is the first set that I've got from the new catalogue. These are the dies, and I'm going to use this die here, which I've used quite a bit. Okay. And then I'm also using a couple of the stamps from the set as well. But I'm using it in a very different way. Now, in the live, I didn't have the papers handy, and I didn't have a chance to show them to you. But I do have them today. So let me show you what the papers are with this particular set. And then I'm going to use some completely different colors for today's card. So you can see that they are more dark greens, blues, neutral colors. So we've got like Pretty Peacock, Balmy Blue, Night of Navy, Pecan Pie, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive. So that's one side, and I've used some sheets. And then you can see sort of the patterns on the other, some cloud cover, some Secret Sea, some crumb cake. So those are the papers that come with the set. And you also get some Secret Sea ribbon. It's more of a sort of opaque ribbon. And the embellishments, which if you saw last week, you would have seen as well. They are some pentagon shapes or something. If I find those, I'll show them to you. All right, so for today's card, I'm staying away from these colors because all my cards that I did last time were like that, and I'm going for something completely different. We are going for Petunia Pop. How about that? So it's monochromatic, so just kind of keeping one color. So I've got Petunia Pop here. And then I'm just creating a background, the die, my sentiment. So I wanted to use these fabulous, famous sentiments. So here is a thank you card. Here it is in Balmy Blue. And I've decided to use a circle punch this time, but otherwise a similar layout. And then I've got another layout because Happy Birthday is quite a long stamp. Here it is with Happy Birthday. I've done it landscape instead of portrait. So I'm going to show you how I made these cards. Now, it's not a completely original idea. I did see something online with someone else who had die cut, but they had contrasting colors. And the card base and all that was different colors and backgrounds, and they didn't have this border like that. They did a different border. So that was my inspiration, but I have changed it up. And I believe that was from Laura Batchman or something like that from Australia. So I appreciate Linda's inspiration. Then I've come up with my own. All right, so I'm going to make a card like this, but we're going to do a circle for our sentiment. Okay. So I'm using a basic white thick for my card base. And at the moment, my cards, I'm quite liking a bigger border here. So this will be here like so. So what I need to do is I need to die cut this out. Now, because the layer will be going on top that I'm stamping on, I'm just going to be economical and cut it out of this piece. And then this will go on top. And you'll never know. I don't tend to put the die cut piece inside the card because when you write, it would be bumpy, but it's fine on the top because there's extra layers and things as well. Now, you just got to be careful when you put it on your card front. You don't want it like this, right by the edge, because we want to see the edge and we don't want it to rip. So just angle it so you've got a reasonable size border around the edge like so. And to save time, I did it earlier. Now, you may find that it kind of sticks inside the die, but that's okay. These what the extra holes are for, is to help get it out. So I'm using my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm just going to be pushing these out. Now, you can pull, but obviously the stem part is quite delicate, so I would just help push out a few more, and then you should be able to kind of pull the rest out. But be careful, don't yank it out, because if it gets a little bit stuck in there, you know, you might rip it, and we don't want to do that. Okay, so there we go. So that is my background, but what we need to do is stamp. So we got that nice pattern. Now, you could texture emboss something, but I wanted to stamp, and I wanted to keep it monochromatic. Oh dear, you better be very careful with my leaf there. So I am going to get the stamp we had earlier. Now, my Petunia Pop ink is getting a little bit low, and it probably needs re-inking, but I didn't want it too dark. So for now, I haven't re-inked it. I've just left it. So it's a little bit duller than normal. So I'm going to do some kind of stamping off, like not re-inking and stamping again. So you've got some lighter, some darker, and I'm sort of alternating. You can see that pattern. I might just go a little bit darker just up there, because that's a bit of a blank spot. And then maybe just, I'm going to do a circle there anyway, aren't I? Now, for this one, obviously, I stamped my thank you first because I was stamping on the card. For this one, we're doing a circle afterwards, so I didn't need to do that. Now, I don't know if you can tell with the video, but if you look at these, do they look slightly different colors? Slightly different. So for this one, what I've done is I've just inked the edges slightly. Now, if I used a blending brush, I was concerned that it would kind of just, you know, rub against it too much. So I'm going to use the daubers, because I can be a little bit more careful with those. So I'm going to ink it up, and you can either just sort of dab, or maybe gentle circles, but I probably like dabbing more. Like I said, there's not a lot of ink on there, and then I can just sort of more around the edge, but it just kind of defines it a little bit more. You can see the ink on the grid paper behind, so you can see that it is going on. So I'll do half and half, and you can kind of see how it looks. I can definitely see it here. Even do that. Can you see a slight difference between these? So it's optional. You don't have to do this. For one of my cards, one of the Balmy Blue cards, I actually didn't ink it up, and I went over with a Winker Stella afterwards, so it had that sparkle instead. So you could, you know, do that as well. So you don't have to do this, but it, you know, just kind of defines it a bit more. So these daubers come in a pack, I believe, of 5, and then I tend to have, you know, a few different ones, so they can be ones for pinks, ones yellows, ones blues, ones green. And then you can, obviously there's still ink on it. Well, not too much. It does stain. You could, I don't rinse them out, but you could, yeah, I just tend to keep it for one color. Okay, so that's that. We've got our background. So let's put that on our card front, and then we need to stamp our sentiment. Okay, so I need a small piece of white. I'll use this, and my punch. So I'm not sure which are current, but I've got a 1 3/4 inch punch here. It's up to you whether you want to stamp. Usually you stamp then punch out, but it just depends on the size of your paper. That is quite light. I'm just going to see if I can make it a little bit darker by stamping on the edges, because that doesn't get used quite so much. Let's flip it over and try here. So it's just a light kind of Petunia. It can be very dark. There we go. Let's just stamp that in the middle. Hello. Okay. We will come back to that, because I will do a little bit of stamping on the inside. Okay, so very quick, easy card to make. I'm going to get my glue, You might like tape. And I'm going to adhere this onto here. I might just put a bit of glue on in that middle bit just to stop it flapping around. Glue that on like so. And then that will go on my card front. So if you look through that at the moment, you can kind of see, maybe see through the, if I do it like that, where the gaps is. But once it's on the card, you wouldn't know that I have this underneath, and particularly when that goes on top too. Be as economical as you can with your cardstock and ribbon and all that kind of thing. Now I'm going to put this on here. So I'm just going to sort of work out placing. So kind of like that. Maybe I want a little bit more dark there, so I might just do that first. I'm not actually going to ink the whole thing up. I'm just going to ink there, so it's a bit like that. So just sort of check my placing. You could add, and I don't want it too high, you could add ribbon or twine or something as well. I didn't on my cards, but that's definitely an option. Now you can stick it down flat, but I don't know if you notice with my card, I have some dimension, so I have lifted it up like so. So this takes a little bit of time, but it is worth the effort. So I'm going to use the mini dimensionals, and basically I'm putting one on each of the bigger leaves, putting it in the middle, so that it doesn't, you can't see it at the sides. Now, very faintly on there is some highlight. I probably need to get a new one because it's hard to see. And that way I can kind of tell if the top layer is off or not. Now, some of these leaves are quite thin and I don't want my dimensional poking out the side. So what I do is, around, so these are all the shapes, but around the edge is some big solid pieces. So I'm just going to cut some long thin bits, and when I do these I actually find it easier just to take the top layer off as I go, then I know it's off. And I'm just going to put those on these leaves. And then we'll put on the card. Whoops, that might be a bit small. It might fit on that one perfectly. So it's a little bit, whoops, we don't want to bend it the wrong way. Probably just need to go onto the leaf a little bit more. Let's push it that way, but there we go. It's worth the effort. I like the dimension, just raising it up slightly. Let me hold my scissors properly. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea taking the top layer off. Okay, and I've got one more leaf there as well. So use all the bits of your dimensionals. The dimensionals in the middle and then these bits around the edge too. Okay, so now carefully holding that, I don't want my top leaf too high. I'm going to sort of position the one on the right first. And then maybe just push that a little bit. And then, oh, I haven't taken the other dimensionals off, have I? Whoops. Okay. I find these very fiddly to pull off when they're leaves. So this is when I love using my Take Your Pick tool, because it makes it so much easier when it's tiny and they're quite delicate to pull off that layer. This doesn't want to come off. So if you don't have a Take Your Pick tool, it is an amazing, useful tool. All right, I think that's all of them off now. And we need to get that bit away. Right, let's try that again. Very carefully turning it over, kind of placing that right one first, pushing it down. And I'm going to bring that this way. Oh, look at that. And then this one is going to go here. And so some of it's going to be already raised because of the leaves. So I'm also going to put some dimensionals just at the bottom. And then maybe a bit of glue on there. I'll figure out placing. Is that enough? Let's see. Maybe one there. So which leaves are we coming up? So if we did that, I'll put a bit of glue on those just to hold that top bit in place. And take those off, put that on. There we go. So you could put ribbon behind if you wanted, or do a little bow. I have finished mine off with some embellishments. So you just see what you might have colored ones that coordinate. You might have rhinestones and then you color it with a stamping blend, or maybe you just want to use kind of a neutral color like that. These are the, what are they called? The druzy embellishments or something. I've gone for like a silver, because then it sort of goes with anything. Whoops. And again, I use my pick tool to lift these up. Usually I'll vary in size, but these are my last 3 on the sheet, so we're going for the same. You'll see on this one I've got small and big. There we go. Now I do like to finish it off on the inside. So I'll show you what I've done. So this is where I've used the other stamp. Now, obviously I've got quite a few layers on the front. And then it is thick, so it's good, but sometimes it can be a little bit front heavy. So by layering it, then it also makes it a bit more evenly weighted. So we're going to do that, and we're going to stamp that nice little leaf from the Nature's Symphony. So isn't this an amazing card? It is very different from the traditional greens and browns and blues of the paper and things. And yeah, Lara's card using bright colors and things inspired me, and then I decided to go for the monochromatic look. She also had, you know, that stamp in the background, but like I say, contrasting color. I can't remember. She obviously used a different stamp set, but I wanted to use the Fabulous Sayings, which, like I said before, is the product of the month. Awesome, nearly finished. And then I've got a couple of things to remind you about, and maybe you can have a go of a card like this. Do you like monochromatic cards? Do you like using one color? I do like doing them, and probably because I do my in color club when the annual catalog comes out, and I'll make a card in a particular in color. So therefore I do the monochromatic cards. So here are some of the samples using Petunia Pop, and then also Balmy Blue. And that's my one that I did landscape with the longer sentiment. So of course you can use, you know, any stamps and dies you like, but I love the font of this Fabulous Saying. And then you've got some large and some small, which are very cool as well. So remember that tip for doing this to your stamps, and then you'll know what's here and what's not. So I can clean this using my stamping scrub and put it back in. So when I put it back in, just going to pull that up, put it face down like that. Now, when you use pinks and reds, they do tend to stain. It is clean. They do tend to stain a little bit, but they work fine, just so you know. Can't really be helped. Okay, put those away. Awesome. So I hope you found today's live useful. I hope you liked the tip for the new photopolymer stamps. I'll show you a couple of cards that I shared last Thursday as part of the live using the set, and you'll see the more traditional neutral colors. So here's one here. This uses a different die, but you've got your pecan pie and your mossy meadow and your old olive, and that is this big stamp die cut out. We've got, I did case one from the catalogue, but I haven't got that in here. This is similar to the one I cased in the catalogue, but using blues. This is flat, not raised like that one. I wanted to try it, and I definitely like the raised look. And this is the one that I made during the event, stamping the background, using the textured paper, and then raising this as well. And this is another die, which during the live I misplaced, and of course it was buried under everything. And I thought initially it was a stamp, but it's actually a die, and it cuts into that groovy pattern. So here it was without that, and that one, this one is without, this one is, because I couldn't find it for the live. So there are your more traditional colors. Blues maybe not for leaves and things, but there you go. compare that to today's cards where we've got Petunia Pop and Balmy Blue. Very good. All right, so just before I go, let me remind you of a couple of quick things. So today's product, the Nature's Symphony, is from the mini catalog. So this is it here. I believe it's right in the middle. If you go right to the middle page, here's the Nature's Walk. Can we see it? Yep. And there's the stamp set, the dies, the embellishments, the ribbon, the paper, the specialty paper, which is very cool. And then more examples using it. Now, more information is coming or is out. I'm doing a special catalog launch class the last weekend of January on the Thursday morning, Friday evening, Sunday afternoon, limited spaces, using some of the Nature's Walk. And we're going to have fun doing some techniques and things. So if you're interested in this, sign up before places are filled. And other things to show you. So if you need a copy of the mini catalog and you don't have one and you don't have a demonstrator, get in touch with me and I can send you one. We have the online exclusives, which this is just a printout of them. They are online, but if you need, on my blog, I've got a link if you want to print out and see what's around. So reminders, Fabulous Saying is the product of the month. This is the stamp set. Here's some examples. Spend $150 before shipping and you can purchase it for just $11. You can only get one. You can't get multiple, but it's available during January while stocks last. So don't miss out. I think it's going to be a popular one. Now, if you're ordering, it is also bonus days. So for each $110, you'll earn an $11 coupon to use next month. So spend $110, you will get one coupon. Spend $220, you'll get two. Spend $150, you'll get a coupon, and then you'll also get this if you choose it. So that is until the end of, this is until the 2nd of February, and then you can redeem them from the 3rd of February. A couple of other things, all sorts happening, is my paper share. So I know some people have signed up. It's been in my newsletter. I may have started sharing a little bit online about it too. So it's a great way to get a sample of the different papers. You get like a quarter share of the pack, and most are 12 by 12. So I cut them in half and you get a 6 by 12 of each, except for one pack, which is a 6 by 6. So 13 different packs, a whole variety of papers. It's $96, which I know does seem like a lot, but then if you're buying all the papers yourself, it's, huge. And you'll have a lot of paper to use for a variety of occasions. If you want the cardstock to coordinate with it, you can go in for that share. And then you can also get a sample of the different ribbons available, including ones like this. Or maybe you just want ribbons, you can take part in the ribbon share. All right, so my classes are coming up, but if you're also interested in taking part in a virtual event run by Stamping Up, it is the 23rd to 24th of January, Friday and Saturday, New Zealand time. If you see it overseas and they're stating other days, it's because New Zealand's ahead. 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. New Zealand time, okay? You might see it at 8 a.m., but that's Australian time. So you buy the kit. The kit is $347, but you get stamps and dies and cardstock and paper and all sorts of things. And the event is free, and you get to watch. You can watch live or watch the recording later and make 15 cards, learning techniques, some ideas. These are some of the cards. You can see more on my blog. I would suggest order soon, order now, because otherwise you won't arrive in time. But then, you can do it later as well. So that's if you're wanting to craft at home, but sort of craft with others as well online. That's a great way of doing it. And you'll have a variety of stamps and things that you can use for other creations as well. So just a reminder, we've got Fabulous Saying, get it while it's still available. The product of the month for just $11 for a $150 order. Bonus days for each $110 you spend, $11 coupon to use next month. So it's kind of like getting that for free, really, isn't it? My paper shares, ribbon shares, cardstock shares, sign up. I do need some more people to complete a group because there's 4 people per group, so let me know. And then the virtual card retreat is coming up in a couple of weeks, so you can sign up for that if you'd like to take part. Any questions about any of these things, please contact me. I'm happy to answer your questions. All right, so thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's cards. I love making it. I was glad to be able to share some ideas with you regarding storing your stamps as well. So let me come back to me. Where are we? Awesome. So thank you for joining me today. Appreciate you being here. I enjoy doing these lives and stuff. If you've got any question, reach out. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe, follow me, that kind of thing, so you're up to date with what's happening. And if you're not on my mailing list, sign up too, because I share lots of information and exclusive tutorials. All right, thanks so much. I look forward to seeing you again next week, where I'll be live, actually live too. So thanks so much. We'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye. We're getting there. Where are we?